Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just the professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, our passion. For happier, healthier furry friends.
The captain, Vershawn Jackson.
We're not going to just sit back and run RPOs and all these different little things you run when you have a run first quarterback. We got a pass first quarterback, and that's going to make us super effective. You're not going to be able to put 9 people in the box. That's what Coach Rule is talking about. You're not going to put 9 people in the box and think that you're going to get it done against us because you got a real gunslinger and you got receivers. Those 2 things alone, especially if we get a running back that can make somebody miss, we will be deadly on offense.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I noticed in the article it's spelled DAWG.
Yeah, that's
Now hold on.
That's standard.
Again,
Jake,
journalism.
a dog is a DAWG in terms of an athlete, or some things are badass.
Yeah.
Dog,
There's no
DAWG.
way in 1985 that was the case. Now this is a recent phenomenon, right?
That's not that new. This is
that's not new.
This is since 2000 probably.
DAWG.
Yeah. Where have you been?
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for 3. You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome into On the Block with Strick and Austin. Stricky, you've been here. I was gone on Friday. Thanks for holding the fort down, my guy. How was Rico?
That's what we do. Rico and I, we connected very well. Had some great discussions on some NBA topics. And so one thing I did mention, and forgive me, I was just running, trying to make sure I make it to the block on time. You know, when you were kids, Austin, I don't know if you had to deal with this, but those who are on, who are blockheads and who listen to us regularly would understand this. But when we were kids, you had to be in your yard on any part of the grass or something by the time the street lights came on. That was just a family thing. It was like roaches and light. and all the kids, we would be hanging out. We would either be by the creek or we'd be playing some form of sport or whatever. But the minute we knew that sun was starting to go down, we hightailed out like a bunch of roaches. We all scattered, running to our respective homes. Now, I had made a mention about the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard Paul Pierce come on his show. I think he and KG have. But he had that internal feel about what an organization was like and what it was, him being from Inglewood. than us just playing in the NBA. And if you just have the ability to kind of just step outside of everything and just observe it, I said it felt like this is a new reality TV show as opposed to a basketball move to really make the team better. It's about jersey. It's definitely something more than just what that team is about, winning and championships. And that move that they made with this, it doesn't seem to propel me towards that. Now, I obviously I like the first round pick. I thought that was a definite get.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I don't see anything in it. So it felt like it was not the Showtime you've heard of as a young man growing up in Magic and on the floor type of stuff. It felt like, Showtime at the Apollo, like it was on a stage. It was like a show, a movie.
Right.
Yeah. I mentioned that, and we had a really good debate about that.
That's awesome. We will definitely talk more NBA later in today's show. There's a lot going on in free agency. Chris Paul already signed. Paul George is the news of the day, and we thought we had news on the Klay Thompson front. Well, might be some holdups, so it's not a for sure thing that Klay Thompson is headed to Dallas, even though the signs are pointing that direction. Today's conference realignment day. Stricky, it's July 1st. Not for every conference, right? The Big Ten teams will not officially join the Big Ten until August 1st. So those 4 schools still kind of in that waiting period. But Texas and Oklahoma, probably the headliners, right? Moving from the Big 12 to the SEC. Which of those schools do you think is set up for more success just in general across sports?
I have to say Texas. I think it just continuously gets better for them because I think NIL has just really put them in a great place. I mean, they have a great alumni base, a great, I mean, they have oil money. I mean, they have big resources, and it becomes at some point, big bank take little bank. And I think Oklahoma, I think they've done a tremendous job the way that they did it, building a program. I'm going to be honest. I don't think Oklahoma's campus is like up
all that.
Yeah. It's not up, it's not vibrant. Austin kind of brings a different type of flow to the middle of Texas. And so it just makes it difficult for Oklahoma in this transition of realignment.
ACC adding Cal, Southern Methodist, and Stanford. Not one of those any close to the actual Atlantic. Do you feel good about any of those 3 schools?
Cal, Stanford, and who?
SMU.
SMU's got money too.
Are you on the Pony Express?
But I don't think they just have the top level resources to, fight against the big conferences right now. But I think they did it smart by not requiring that, just pretty much handling things on their own. And then building off of that on the coattails. It's kind of like, it's very similar to like being on an AAU team and you're not really the guy, but you have some value and there's some things you do well. And educationally and prestigiously and coming out of there's space for you to kind of land places outside of the college experience. And that's what SMU brings. And so it's kind of like riding on the coattail of that. You've got that 5-star guy on the team. You're 6'7" guy, but you can do some work, but you ride the coattails of those other people. And then the others get the chance to see you and what your value is, and then make a decision as to how they want to proceed and going in there. I think they got money to stay in the game, though.
Last conference to touch on before we get to Mitch Sherman with the Athletic. We talked about Utah last segment. Colorado, Arizona, and Arizona State also coming to the Big 12 alongside Utah. Of those other 3 schools, who's in the best situation, who's in the worst situation, in your opinion?
Utah, Arizona, and Arizona State.
Colorado,
and
Arizona.
Colorado.
Arizona State.
Who's worse off? Is that what you're saying?
Who's in the most trouble?
I think I'm going to start the other way. I think Arizona put themselves in a great position. Retention is going to be the key for them. And I think across the board, I think they're pretty solid. I think Utah then's next because I think there's stability there. Obviously, maybe the level of talent. I still think development, coaching, strategically, stability. I think they have a lot more than what Colorado brings, because you just don't know when you just throw a hodgepodge of talent into a room, how it's going to mesh. It's very similar to trying to put clay and concrete together, or cement,
right,
or anything of that nature. Trying to put them together just doesn't mold. It's very shaky. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what it feels like sometimes. Like I say, they were able to do some good things talent-wise, but longevity and in the season and continuously doing that and asking more of those that maybe believe they should be starting or playing. You have to deal with a lot of those type of mentalities in Austin. It's hard because you haven't had that time and rapport with them to build it, to know.
True.
So you could be dealing with some very rocky, unstable, some very bomb-like situations that could cause a lot of issues internally within your. So that's the thing you don't know, I think, with Colorado. So I would say them.
Text line questions open to you as well. Which of those schools do you feel best about? Which of those schools do you feel worst about? We'll take your thoughts all show long. 402-464-5685. I know we'll circle back on the Big Ten schools once we get to that point in August. We're going to step aside when we get back. Mitch Sherman of The Athletic will talk a little conference realignment, as well as some Husker football headlines. We're into July, 3 weeks to go, really, before things get going in earnest for the Huskers. We'll get Mitch's thoughts on Husker football and conference realignment next.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Highball Bar in downtown Lincoln is open and located just north of 11th and O Street. Highball Bar offers a vibe and atmosphere like no other, making it the perfect place to grab a drink or beverage. Highball Bar features great events such as Karaoke Sunday, $4 Cheetos on Mondays, Jack Daniel's specials on Wednesdays, and much more. Make Highball Bar your go-to spot after a hard day at work or on the weekend. Highball Bar, located at 122 North 11th Street in downtown Lincoln.
Husker fan, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and they need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to the UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin games. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
Play ball! Looking for the ultimate change-up from the typical family night? How about a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers? Then unleash the fun at Haymarket Park with an action-packed, thrilling season of Salt Dogs baseball. Choose from 50 home games now through August with daily and weekly specials your whole pack can enjoy, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the magic and the excitement. Strike 3, you're out! Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today. Unleash the fun.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now they are offering huge, and I mean huge discounts at Koppel. Get over $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing on select Sierras or Silverados. Plus, Costco members receive another $1,000 off. Yes, that's happening right now in Louisville. $9,000 off list price or 1.9% financing. You pick what works for you. Costco members, please contact us at the store or at koppelcars.com. All deals with approved credit must trade and finance.
NEPCO is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. NEPCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEPCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's nebcoinc.com.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you. Big thanks to Nebco for sponsoring the show. Check them out at nebcoinc.com if you're looking to start a new career today. Big thanks as well to Allo for sponsoring Channel 961 as well as our VIP line, Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We go there now. We welcome in Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Lots going on in the wide world of sports. Mitch, happy Conference Realignment Day. Again, feels like we celebrate this every year or two now.
Yeah, I was thinking back to the last time that Texas, quote unquote, joined a new conference. And I don't know if any of us, it was a long time ago, we're talking about 1996, but I don't know if any of us quite understood or recognized like the reckoning that was coming, what that was going to lead to. And somehow I feel like Texas going into the SEC today, along with Oklahoma, of course, it has something of a different feel to it. And it'll be interesting to watch if Texas is able to run roughshod over the SEC. I don't think so, at least not in the way that the Longhorns did in the Big 12 and eventually driving all kinds of teams out of the Big 12, including Nebraska.
You mentioned the Texas not maybe dominating the SEC. Well, what is the difference in vibe between Texas to the SEC versus, that famed Sports Illustrated covering bullies of the Big Ten with Nebraska their first year? Is Texas in a better position to maybe do better than Nebraska was early on, or do you think Texas will settle in that same kind of, Bo Pelini, a 9-3 range in the first few years in the SEC?
Well, if you're looking just at football, then Texas is in a better spot than what Nebraska was in 2011. You're talking about a team that played in the college football playoff last year in the 4-team college football playoff, and now we're going into a 12-team era. Yeah, the SEC is a different animal as a league than what Nebraska joined in the Big Ten, which was a Big Ten that didn't have a vintage Ohio State at that time. You were going through the change out of the Jim Tressel era before Urban Meyer came in and changed things for Ohio State. And Texas does not have that luxury in the SEC of walking in where the big programs are on any kind of a downward track. At least I don't think that's going to happen at Alabama. Maybe so. They come in right as Nick Saban retires, but Georgia's going pretty well. And there are plenty of other teams that are doing just fine in the SEC. So but look, Texas in 2024 is much different than what Nebraska was in 2011. They're kind of on top of the world in college sports. Texas is across all sports, and they also have resources. Nebraska had great resources 15 years ago or 14 years ago, but they're paltry in comparison to what Texas has when it comes to money and recruiting prestige and all of that.
The other interesting part about Texas is tied in with A&M, right? I read today that Texas, and the SEC had an agreement in principle in 92, but the SEC wouldn't take A&M, so that got held up. And you mentioned Texas being on top of the world in resources. Guess what? They poached Texas A&M's baseball coach fresh off a College World Series runner-up thing. The Trev Alberts angle at Texas A&M, what do you make of how he handled his first, major search down in College Station?
Well, he's hiring somebody in Michael Early, who, despite his lack of experience which is none, as a college baseball head coach, seems to be a hit with the Aggies. And if he'd have told me that a week ago, I would have been surprised. On the heels of Texas swooping in and stealing A&M's coach the day after A&M played for a national championship, my thought in looking at the reaction to that and how Texas A&M's constituency, I'm talking about more than the fans. I'm talking about the people with money, how they responded to it. My thought was that the only thing that Trev Alberts would be able to do to make them happy would be to go out and hire someone who was just as big of a name as the coach that they lost to Texas. And that is not what he did. He did not go and according to various reports, he tried to hire the Tennessee coach, Tony Vitello. That obviously did not happen. If that had happened, then yeah, you're going to have a lot of happy Aggies. And I think you still have a lot of happy Aggies with Michael Early, which, good for them for being reasonable and seeing this thing from a baseball perspective, or what they believe to be a baseball perspective, instead of just stick your chest out moment. So I'm a little bit surprised that it seems to be going over as well as it does. And I can't say that I know a huge amount about him. He's been an assistant coach for a decade or so at the highest level of the sport. So, that gives him some credentials, but it seems that Trev, he did what he felt like he needed to do, and he didn't bow to the pressure of A&M fans and, just go from one big name coach to the other, regardless of how the fit might feel to him.
Mitch Sherman of The Athletic is our guest here on our Allo VIP line. We brought you on, Mitch, to talk Husker football, so let's dive into that. Nebraska's defensive line, being rated out as a top 10 group nationally. This is Nebraska's, potentially the best defensive line since when, in your opinion?
Well, the first thing that jumps to mind is 2009 with Ndamukong Suh and Jared Crick. That group, I wonder, and I have to look at depth charts and personnel, if there wasn't a group with Randy Gregory, who was a special player and a first round pick in the NFL draft, that I wonder if there was maybe a group that involved him that was every bit as good as this one. And we'll see what happens. Ty Robinson and Nash Hutmaker were very good Big Ten players last year. You're not talking about guys who earned All-American honors or even first team All Big Ten. If they can ascend to that level, and Nebraska has a duo in those guys, plus Jamari Butler, who's, should not be overlooked. He's an elite pass rusher. I think that's what they think he can be, and he showed signs of that last year. You put the three of them together, and it's got the potential, I'd say, to be as good as any defensive line since Ndamukong Suh left Nebraska. But I don't know that they're at that level yet. Nebraska had some good defenses under Bo Pelini after Suh left, and their defensive line play was absolutely a part of that. There was the Malik Collins and Vincent Valentine years. So guys who have gone on and played in the NFL. The Davis twins were the part of some good defensive lines, very good defensive lines at Nebraska. So we'll see. The jury is out on this one, but I think in Robinson and Hutmaker, just because of the experience that they have, and Jamari Butler, and some of the young pieces that you put in there, I think Riley Van Poppel's going to be a great player at Nebraska before he's done. That they've got depth, and they've got a scheme that works for them to be in the top half of the Big Ten, maybe the top third of the Big Ten, and what they put out there at that position.
I'm glad you brought up Collins and Valentine. That's kind of where my head went first. Would you take Collins and Valentine over Robinson and Hutmaker right now? Do you think you would flip your answer by the end of the year? What do you make of that comparison?
I think the hope from Nebraska is that these two can be even better than what they had there. And they probably have some room that they need to grow to get there. I think there's a chance, in part because you can't just grade a defensive line specifically on their play. It part of it comes down to how good is the defense as a whole, and like what's the role that the defensive line plays in the entirety of the defensive success. And I think this is a duo or a trio with Butler that has a chance to play more of a role in a very good defense than even what you saw with Collins and Valentine. So no, they may not be at that level right now. I wouldn't put them above Collins and Valentine with what they did in 2023, but I think that their ceiling, their potential, it absolutely allows them to get to that level and surpass it.
Mitch, Eric Strickland here. How are you today, my friend?
I'm good, Strick. How are you?
Good. Quick question. So when you assess what they've been able to add, how things went in the spring, the direction and the trajectory on where they're trying to go as next steps in the evolution of the Rule Dynasty, what do you look on paper and feel would be the biggest strength, just on the outside looking in on paper and just from what things you're hearing out there in space?
Of the entire program?
Of the football program, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if we had moved off the defensive line at this point, but yeah, the biggest strength for Matt Rule is just his ability to be his organizational and communication skills, his ability to be a complete leader. And the best thing that Nebraska football has going for it right now, or one of the best things that it has going for it, is in this volatile and changing environment in college sports, is a leader who's got a plan and somebody who knows what he wants to do and is going to be likely well positioned to be able to be on top of a program that has so many more things that's asked of it than what a college football program had to do to be successful just maybe 5 to 7 years ago, or even 3 years ago in the case of some things. I mean, even last week in the case of some things, all of a sudden you now have unlimited staff size in college football. And that's as of the ruling, as of the vote by the Division I Council last week. And I think it's a story that got, overlooked somewhat last week. That's a huge development for a college football program like Nebraska that has the resources that it does and the ability to hire people and put them in positions. I mean, stuff is going to get real creative here real fast. I mean, you may see programs, I'm not saying Nebraska is going to do this, but you can bet that some of those SEC schools and other places in the Big Ten are going to push the envelope. You may see schools that have a staff of recruiters who work on campus, a staff of recruiters who work off campus and go on the road, and then an entirely different group of people who coach the team on the field. If you can divide up those responsibilities and pay everybody, whatever you feel that $200,000, $500,000, $800,000. I mean, the money almost becomes a joke at this point because there's so much of it that's moving around in college sports, even with the revenue sharing that's to come. Then what are these staffs going to look like in years to come? And what Nebraska has in Matt Rule, and to get back to the answer to this question, is it has a leader who I think is thinking about that stuff and understands how to think about that stuff, and is somebody that Nebraska can trust to be forward thinking and make the right decisions to put Nebraska on the cutting edge.
Mitch, I think you've hit it on a number of hit the target. You just really hit it, because here's the thing. I think you even need staff on campus to take care of the players, because you've got to not only recruit outside, but you still got to recruit inside your program. So you're right, man. I think that's pretty deep in that, which programs I think stay on the cutting edge of that, or even push the envelope, have a great chance at doing some great things.
Yeah, and that's he's been an NFL coach. He's been a coach at multiple stops in college. He's turned programs around. So, where he has Nebraska right now after just 1.5 years, as far as the direction that it's pointed, and they haven't crossed these barriers yet, but just the direction that they're pointed, it's a sign of positive things to come. And we'll see if they can go out there and execute it. It ultimately it comes down to the way they play football on Saturdays, and you can look good with your organization and your ability to communicate, but you still got to win games and play well in the fourth quarter to have it be the complete package and have it be what people are paying to sit in that stadium to see.
Do you have a gauge on how you think Matt Rule is going to use any expanded, coaching opportunities? Do you think he's going to bring in a lot more bodies, or do you think he's going to use it kind of as a, little incubation area for some of these young coaches that he wants to develop, in his system that he sees something in, and they'll work their way up from, like an assistant on-field coach through his ranks someday?
Yeah, I don't envision that he's gonna double the staff size, or have 25 coaches on staff, or but you're gonna have to stay current too. And if programs, top programs in the SEC and the Big Ten, that's where it's going to start, because those are the programs that have the most money. If they begin to expand rapidly, and let's say you find a group of coaches whose specialty it is to recruit, and those are the coaches that go off campus. And then you've got another group of coaches whose specialty it is to coach, and they're the ones who actually coach the players. Then ultimately Nebraska is going to have to trend in that direction too. I don't think in any way that's his intent at the start of this thing. So you're going to have to see where it goes on a national and a conference level before you get in a sense entirely of how Matt Rule is going to handle this situation. But from the beginning, I think his plan is absolutely going to continue what he's already done. And this is going to make it easier because you're going to be able to get young coaches experience actually working with players in practice and in games. And he wants his coaches, he wants his coordinators to become head coaches. He wants his assistant coaches to become coordinators. He's going to stand up for those guys, as we've already seen him do with Tony White. And when he has spots to fill on his staff, he's going to want to fill them from within with young coaches who now will have the opportunity to do more coaching before they are in a position to move into, what we look at today as a full-time assistant coaching position. The definition of a full-time assistant coaching position has kind of changed though, because now instead of being able to have just 10 of those, you can have 15, you can have 20.
4 weeks of summer ball down, 3 weeks to go. Anything on your radar over these next 21 days or so for Husker football, Mitch?
I mean, I'm always going to be looking at what's going on at that quarterback position. It's the most important position on the field, and it's the easy answer to give you guys that, I'm intensely interested in what Dylan Raiola is doing right now, what he's done for the first half of this offseason, how things continue to trend with him toward the time when training camp opens and how that picture is going to look as they go through camp. Does it become clear? I think it's clear to some right now what's going to happen, but is it a situation where it becomes clear publicly and that Nebraska's trending toward week one with a true freshman starter? I mean, there's lots of places you can look on the roster, but that position you saw last year when Nebraska had struggles there to be efficient and had turnover through the season, not turnovers. They had those too, but turnover at the starting spot due to injury and due to some struggles on the field. You saw how crippling that was for the offense, and Nebraska, despite having some things go right for it, quite a few things go right for it, especially on the defensive side, won just 5 games in large part because it could only score 18 points per outing. So how are they going to improve that? I mean, it starts with the quarterback, but I'm interested in every phase of the team, I guess I could say. I mean, these next 21 days are about as quiet of a time as you can get on the college football calendar, and Nebraska is coming close, I think, to wrapping up what its roster is going to look like when training camp opens. You've seen about 5 players join the team over the past few weeks. The 2024 team, and that's more than I thought they would add in May and June. There will be some things that continue to happen in recruiting through July, but it's a quieter time for recruiting too. Official visits are no longer happening. They're done after the month of June, at least until we get to the fall. So there's never a time when you shut things down completely in college football, but the month of July is about as close as you get until the very end of these 31 days.
Well, enjoy what counts for a deep breath in the college football calendar. We'll keep checking out your work at The Athletic. Thanks for your time, Mitch. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Mitch joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. One segment to go in hour one. We'll kick off with a little NBA talk. 5 players making $30 million or more on the Boston Celtics roster, and they're up for sale. We'll get into that before we dive into NBA free agency headlines in hour 2 of the show.
For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and they need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to the UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin games. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 26th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I noticed in the article it's spelled D-A-W-G.
Yeah, that's
Now hold on.
That's standard.
Again,
Jake,
journalism.
a dog is a DAWG in terms of an athlete. Yeah. Or some things are badass, you know. Yeah.
Dog, There's no way
DAWG.
in 1985 that was the case. Now this is a recent phenomenon, right?
That's not that new. This is
that's not
this
new.
is not this is since 2000 probably.
DAWG?
Yeah. Where have you been?
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is Bree Fansteel, local race car driver. Join me and James Rowland every Sunday at 7 p.m. for The Finish Line, where we discuss off-road, on-road, and sometimes next-to-the-road racing on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big thanks to Mitch Sherman of The Athletic for joining us on our Allo VIP line last segment. If you missed that interview or want to listen back, find it after the show, wherever it is you get your podcasts. We turn our attention to the NBA. Lots going on in free agency. One move, Strick, Derek White back to the Boston Celtics. Pretty big piece of that team winning the NBA championship, their 5-out style. The starting lineup for the Celtics, with the Derek White news, now every single player will be making at least $30 million per year. Jaylen Brown, we know, the richest contract in NBA history. White's new deal pushes him over $30 million. Drew, over 30. Jason Tatum, 2 years left on his extension. He's eligible for a supermax next year. And then Kristaps Porzingis, 2 years and right at $30 million per year left. All this on top of the new first and second aprons. Boston's first 5 players have them over the salary cap. They have essentially $20 million in space to fill out the rest of the roster. That's not a lot of wiggle room.
Well, they're going all in on a run it back. They're basically saying these are our core guys. With who we've drafted, who we have, we believe we've got a nice development core of guys to where we can raise them up as well. You're basically going long term all in, and then you're also, it's rumored that the team is looking to be sold potentially.
Right.
So you can't really fall too far. You still want to be pressing in the Eastern Conference to be able to put them, because that makes it interesting for any suitor, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in this instance, it's no different than basically right now you see in some markets, Austin, you have people looking for houses.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes the market values of the houses are dictated by location, where they are, all of this. You have a team that's coming off of a championship. You can't have them fall too far from grace. And so you want to keep a portion of it. It's kind of like kick it down the road, put in a higher bid than usual on the upfront with the hopes of landing the deal because there's other viable suitors. And the East isn't getting any, at the top.
Right.
It's not getting any easier for what New York just did and what Philly's looking to do with Paul George potentially, and
Milwaukee's still got Giannis.
You know what I mean? So you have to put yourself in that position, and it looks like that's what they're going in on, knowing that Porzingis is still there for another 2, knowing that you still got you've got that 1 more year run back on a good salary with Tatum right now, and looking to put him at about 315. Then that's when you got to make decisions. At that point, decisions are going to come down. Hartford's going to go off. Porzingis will be next to go off. So then you'll hope you're gonna have to make a decision on one of those players too, Drew or Derek White. Can't keep them all. No. It just is what it is.
Do you think that the reason for Wyc Grousbeck deciding to sell the team now, do you think it's sell high when he can get the most money coming off a championship, or do you think it's, hey, we signed all these guys, I don't want to have to pay that bill, I'm going to let it crash and burn under someone else. Kind of like, Bob Myers leaving the Warriors as GM.
It could be a little bit of that, but I say you sell high where you can, because you're going to be able to recoup more of your investment, and whatever X it is, 5X, 2X, 10X, whatever it is, you're going to look to recoup that now. And it's going to be more interesting because you've got a core group of guys there. With championships come a lot of opportunities, a lot more TV spots, a lot more jersey sales. It comes with a lot of extra perks that come with that. And you're in a big market. So you're going to be a little bit different than Denver in that aspect. You still are the viable option out of East. And to maintain that, it looks like that's the move that they're making.
Grousbeck led the investment group that bought the Celtics for $360 million in 2002. Guess what it's at now, according to Forbes valuation?
$2.8 billion.
4.7 billion.
I was going to say that, but I thought that was going to be really hot. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, go out with a bang.
That's an investment if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
You mentioned Philly. Maybe the first biggest domino of the offseason has fallen, with Paul George making his way out to the city of brotherly love. We'll break down that move and plenty more NBA free agent moves and decisions yet to come in hour 2 of On the Block here on Monday.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
NEBCO is hiring CDL drivers for ready-mixed concrete, Husker concrete, and Beatrice concrete. NEBCO offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From NEBCO's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl, Jordan, with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk commitment. And what better way to do that than with some shiny, sparkly jewelry? Am I right? Now, I'm not suggesting you have to rush, but if you're considering making a significant move, do your planning. We offer financing and payment plans. Lock down your selection with confidence. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 26th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca.
Tune in every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. for the Malone Radio Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Don't miss the opportunity to learn about the Malone Community Center's goal to eliminate multi-generational poverty in Lincoln and the surrounding area. It's the Malone Radio Show with Executive Director John Goodwin and Sports Director Mike Hunter every Wednesday night from 9 to 10 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. They are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
$93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. We'll see a chance of showers and storms throughout the day. It'll be breezy too, with the high around 82. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms are likely, with the low around 72. And tomorrow, the chance of showers and storms. Some could be severe in the afternoon. We'll see a high around 87. Meteorologist Kyle Clucker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Looking for the ultimate change-up from the typical family night? How about a Grand Slam good time with friends and coworkers? Then unleash the fun at Haymarket Park with an action-packed, thrilling season of Salt Dogs baseball. Choose from 50 home games now through August with daily and weekly specials your whole pack can enjoy, including group discounts. Don't miss out on the magic and the excitement. Strike 3, you're out! Visit saltdogs.com to reserve your tickets today. Unleash the fun.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NEPCO. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Hour 2 of a Monday show comes your way from 1040 O Street. It's a dreary day outside. If you need to pick me up, stop by the mill, grab a cup of coffee. Great staff, great service. Really appreciate them. Stricky's holding up his cup. You get the huge, Stricky?
The huge.
The huge.
The huge.
Coming up huge.
It doesn't ever fail me. The meal makes it absolutely phenomenal. Got a nice little pop on it. Not overly sweet, but gives you what you need. Give you a little perk up.
Shout out the mill. Shout out NEPCO for sponsoring On the Block. NEPCO's operations do span the state of Nebraska. NEPCO supplies the construction industry with the materials needed to construct buildings, streets, and highways. They've been doing it since 1908. They're a fourth-generation family-owned and operated business with over 1,200 employees and 26 companies throughout the state of Nebraska. We turn our attention to NBA free agency. Text line, I want your thoughts. We want your thoughts. Your favorite NBA free agency deal so far. We know Rico's sitting there in the back, his typing fingers, thumbs are ready to tell us that OG Anunoby to the New York Knicks is his favorite deal. If that's your favorite deal, let us know. If not, let us know if there's another one. In that division, though, Stricky, the news of the day, Paul George, a 4-year, $212 million maximum deal with the Philadelphia 76ers. First interesting part of this is that Golden State thought they had worked out a sign and trade with the Clippers, but the Clippers said, nope, we don't want to do it. We would rather lose Paul George for nothing than trade with you, which I think is just kind of funny. What do you make of Paul George going to Philly?
First of all, it breaks the bank. You know, him signing a $212 million contract. If you just look at their big three and what they have, I mean, they've spent over $444 million. I mean, look.
On Maxey, Embiid, and now PG-13?
They're basically saying it's the teams in both conferences are saying to themselves, this is what we feel we have to do to break through as far as wherever we are, who we're looking up to, and who we need to be. The matchups between like Boston and Philly. Here's the thing. Here's the problem you have. You have multiple guys on a team right now that are unreliable. A trend of unreliability, not during the season, not putting them in positions for playoff contention.
And then not in the playoffs.
Just, yeah, it's they basically, in between Embiid and George, they just have not been able to get it done. Now, George, I can understand why George would exit. stage left, literally, to the not the leftist coast, but the right coast. I can understand why he would go from west to east, because you look up and down that western gauntlet that you must ascend, you realize that every team got better except you. Clippers had no wiggle room. They had no place to go but to divvy
run it
up
back.
or run it back. Divvy it up between those guys, get something for those guys that must exit or who they decide to trade. But Paul George is saying, I can't stay west. It doesn't make sense for me to stay west. Doesn't, let alone go to Golden State. Like that's right now, that to me is going to Death Valley, because it's not.
He wanted to go there though.
But
why?
Maybe he's making a leverage play, because I don't think it makes sense. He doesn't seem to come off to me as someone outside of his youth when he was in Indiana, where he took the challenge and he raised the bar. The problem with the Clippers is they didn't know who the heck was the guy.
Right.
And they weren't there all the time to really iron it out. You didn't know if it was James Harden. You didn't know if it was Paul George. Just had a bunch of mediocrity and guys, and obviously got ousted by the Dallas Mavericks, who had a little bit more. Their roles were a little bit more defined, so to speak. So, yeah.
I think it's going to be better for Paul George in Philly, because he's not the guy.
Yeah.
You know it's Embiid's team, and they just gave Maxey the bag. Paul George is an overqualified third option, but I think he knows he's the third option. Whereas in Los Angeles, with Kawhi's availability, you never really knew. Harden, you didn't really know what you were going to get day to day. So I can understand maybe some role confusion there in Los Angeles, but that's a pretty good big three, right? You have the guard in Maxey running the point. You have the wing in Paul George. And
he's
then
an
the big
upgrade
in
from
Embiid,
Tobias Harris, too.
which is why they're not actually breaking the bank. Tobias Harris was making so much money. Paul George is just absorbed into their cap space. Like, they're fine. They're not going over the second apron yet to fill out the rest of the team. They do lose Nick Batum to the Clippers. He goes back there. But Strick, we talked over the last month or two of the NBA season how the NBA seems to be moving from the big three model to the big two. Joker and Murray, Tatum and Brown. Lakers think they have one with Bron and AD. Dallas made the finals with its big two of Luka and Kyrie. Here's Philly going back in on the big three model. Worthy gamble or not the right way to go in this NBA?
I think they understood that the upgraded space needed to be at that small forward position. I mean, I like Kelly Oubre. He's a streaky, three-point shooter at times. Great defense, length, and all of that. But they still needed an upgrade. And I think when you just look around the landscape, I mean, you could go with, Anunoby out in New York, but he's really going to give you the defensive side of things. You've got a scoring option. Paul is capable defensively. He doesn't really want to play defense.
Not like he used to.
No, he's capable. But again, I think they knew that was the area, the targeted area, and feeling like you said, you can find somebody of his caliber at that space. You're taking a risk, though. You're signing 4 years. You're signing him at 4 years at the age of 30. I think he's 34. Yeah, so he'll be, and a lot of injuries. So that body, can it hold up? It's a risk. It's a big risk. We'll see if it pays off.
Well, some big injuries too. Not like little, nicks and bruises, but the pretty traumatic broken leg that he had, other knee injuries. It's a big deal. And of course, the big question is, does this move the needle for Philly, even in that division? They were third in their division last year. Strick. Boston had the best record in the NBA. The Knicks were second, 14 games back, but still the second best record in the Eastern Conference.
And they got better.
And the Knicks got better, and Boston's running it back.
Yeah.
Did Philly get better? Did they get enough better? Or do you think they're still fighting for second?
See, that's the thing. I mean, you're coming off of the risk of a guy like James Harden. You can look at their careers, and they both have that peak excellence when they came up just short at Indiana, but he gave people runs and fits when he was leading that charge there. And then you had the same thing with James Harden, who in Houston was giving people the same type of fits Paul was giving people on the east side. I think you've seen this model outside of the fact that it's more within the fit, because what you had is you had to take Maxey and what he did, move him to the side, to allow James Harden to do what he does. That wasn't a good fit because actually Maxey was probably better suited. But Paul George is capable. The issue is he going to be a willing participant in humbling himself, acknowledging where he is, that those two are the guys. But if I just come in and do my thing, it depends on what Paul George is chasing right now. He's got his money. So, hopefully he sees the bigger picture and is like, I'm chasing dreams and championships, because teams like San Antonio, not San Antonio, but teams like OKC. With where they got plenty of money, plenty of assets, and they've added the right components and pieces to what they need. And I even think a little bit the move that they make didn't hurt them too much in Sacramento. They still could do a few things there. And so we're going to see what these high value plays, if they pan out, and we'll know real soon, because my gosh, summer's almost over already.
A couple interesting things I saw on Twitter. This one, the first thing is from, I just scrolled past it, Tim Bontemps, who is an NBA writer for ESPN. There's one season in NBA history where the Celtics, Sixers, and Knicks all won at least 50 games. That was 1981. Those might be the three best teams in the East. I'm not sold on what Milwaukee's doing. Miami seems like they're shaky. Indiana, I don't think, has another gear in him. Obviously, Atlanta's not going for it anymore. You could have the three best. Cleveland, maybe. Orlando's got a jump to make. But there's a conceivable argument that the three best teams in the East are all going to come out of that Atlantic division.
Yeah.
Elsewhere with Oklahoma City, we'll just
definitely Detroit's Garbo. Indiana,
we'll see. Charlotte, nah.
Definitely no. Atlanta, you know what I mean? So yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
There's not much going on. So
Oklahoma City signs Isaiah Hartenstein. For
that's what I'm saying.
Some brawn,
bro.
some bulk.
They got better. They needed that. With that and Chet Holmgren, that's what they needed. That's really, I think, where they got hers in the front court.
Right.
But they've addressed it.
Hartenstein is getting paid, I think, 20-something million a year, 28 mil a year. I think he's going to be a part-time starter. There are going to be matchups where Oklahoma City needs him, needs his bulk. But I still think Chet at the 5 is the way to go for OKC, right? I mean, playing him at power forward, I think, I'm not sure about him on the perimeter as a 4, but I like Hartenstein as an insurance option, and I think a way to play just maybe a different style of basketball they weren't able to last year.
It gives them that versatility.
Sure.
They didn't have that. It was, you knew what they were going to give. They were going to go with a lot of 5-out, a lot of open stuff. They're going to run and attack, and you knew defensively, you knew how you could basically run that team to get them into the matchups you wanted. I think with the lineups they can throw at you now, it's going to be a little bit different. OKC is really not playing any games with people. I think they're really saying to themselves, it wasn't a fluke. We're going to show you it wasn't, and we're going to build it to the areas of vulnerability that we feel we have, and we're going to address that.
Oklahoma City, for my money, is going to have the best defense in the NBA next year. I know it was Minnesota last season, but it was the Thunder and the Celtics, the two best teams in net rating in the NBA last year. I don't think the Thunder's offense took a big step back. I think the defense might even get a little bit better. And if nothing else, they're finishing more possessions with a rebound with Hartenstein. Let's stick in the West, though, Strick. Another interesting move from yesterday. Chris Paul, waived by the Golden State Warriors. They were trying to work him into a sign and trade, but they pushed his guarantee day back so they could try to figure it out. Doesn't end up happening. Golden State Warriors waive Chris Paul. He stays in the West. He's going to San Antonio. What do you make of San Antonio going after 39-year-old Chris Paul?
It's a leadership play. This is an area where they were basically trying to have it was an experiment at what they were doing. They were trying a whole bunch of things, seeing guys that were athletic and then trying to put them, out of position and maybe learn the position. It just didn't work. There were a series where Wembanyama was cooking and they weren't finding him. And that's one thing Chris Paul is going to do. He's going to find the right people where they need to be. He's not going to be defensive. But with that size and the floor opening abilities, he's going to be a good leader in that locker room. I just really believe that. And as long as his assist numbers are up, I think you allow those young fellas to run. I think you'll allow Wembanyama to do what he does. but you'll have someone orchestrating everything and making sure they're where they need to be. I think it's just a good leadership play. And it's not going to cost you like crazy dollars.
1 year, $11 million.
Yeah.
Keith Smith, who writes about the NBA for Spotrac and the front office show, says 11 million is an interesting number. Very tradable should the Spurs hit the deadline and want to get him to a contender. A team with their mid-level exception could even bring him in by using the mid-level exception as a taxpayer exception. And the 11 million is less than the non-tax mid-level exception. So if Chris Paul once bought out, he can join any team in the NBA, any contender. Let's say that Chris Paul does want to buy out. Is he still good enough to help a team contend for a championship?
No, but not in a lead role, but I think in a secondary role, like coming off the bench and really just providing stability at a certain position. I don't look at any of the top 3 teams in the East. Maybe you could use him in Milwaukee if you're going to look at a top tier team. Maybe out west, no.
Denver doesn't need him. OKC
No,
doesn't need him. Minnie doesn't need him.
There's really not anybody that I can see. I don't think Sacramento. We've already seen what happened in Golden State. You just look around. He could go back to maybe the Pelicans potentially. But potentially it could be a
Miami,
a reconnection there. For the money, but I don't know if that works. I definitely know not Orlando. So obviously he's not going to want to just pay. I think to be honest, he might even be looking outside of what's next. He might even be looking. I would go there just to get under the coaching tree of Popovich.
Is he a guy you can see as a coach?
He's been a president and vice president of the league. For the Players Association. Yeah. So he knows a lot of the background stuff. He could be positioning himself maybe for a down the road GM position. He comes to me that he's kind of using this to allow Pop and those guys to see how he is, see how his leadership is, and then maybe start to push him in the other directions around the sport of basketball at the NBA.
No ring for Chris Paul yet, right?
No.
And he signed with San Antonio.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
60.
that's what it's about. Yeah. I don't think it's about anything else. But
did you like the move to not ring chase, or do you think he's a guy that, for his legacy's sake, needs a ring?
Yeah, I don't think he believes he does now. I think maybe a few years ago he probably would say that and pushed for that. I think now he's like, not really many teams are going to go after. I think that was his last shot in Phoenix as far as that's concerned. They're going to allow him to get that type of run, but I just don't see it at this point, the value.
You mentioned New Orleans. They're also in the news. Interesting trade. They get DeJounte Murray out of Atlanta. The price, Larry Nance Jr., Dyson Daniels, and then 2 picks as well. DeJounte Murray seemed like a guy that needed a fresh start. Atlanta probably needs a fresh start. But let's start with the New Orleans element of things. You add DeJounte Murray to Zion Williamson. CJ McCollum's still there. But Brandon Ingram's name keeps coming up in trade rumors. Would you rather have Brandon Ingram or DeJounte Murray? Do you need them both? What do you make of the direction that New Orleans seems to be heading with this trade?
So you're saying, what do I think? Let me just make sure I'm hearing the question correctly. Say that again.
Did you like the move for New Orleans, essentially? What's the direction they're going with this?
I think they saw whatever was going on. There was some dysfunction between the staff and Brandon Ingram. It was very evident in the playoffs. Some of the stuff that they were doing didn't make sense. So I don't know what was going on. It was very apparent that move had to happen. That whatever that was going on internally there, something needed to happen. You also saw that CJ McCollum can't do it.
True.
He can't do it. DeJounte Murray is a better defensive, but similar style to CJ McCollum, a little bit younger. Can get buckets, can go get buckets, but can defend. So you're hoping that he realizes that he steps in, because I still don't believe he believed Trey was the guy for some reason. There was a lot of shakiness between that relationship. I think he would understand that that's Zion. That's his team. You know what I mean? I don't think he's going to, but I think he's going to come in and establish that CJ's not me. But I'm the second best option you guys are going to have, and I think he's going to try to show and improve as a two-way player on both defense and offense, and try to establish himself there. Does this move the needle for where the Pelicans were? I still don't think so. I still think they need another couple players. I definitely think front court area needs to get better for them as well.
They lost Valanciunas. He goes to Washington, of all places. So, yeah, I mean, he was a big part of their success as kind of that ball brawler, that bruiser in the middle there. I like it. I'm curious to see what DeJounte Murray looks like if he's re-energized, right? With all the drama, it seems like there's a lot more of the focus in the locker room and off the court than on the floor sometimes. I think it's a worthy gamble. Nance is athletic. He's a good kind of bench rotational piece. Dyson Daniels hasn't really developed. And 2 first-round picks, fine, okay, not ideal, but I kind of like at least the idea of what New Orleans is doing.
And their money's not killing you.
True.
I mean, they don't have any, none of their guys are really just going above 35 million. So you've still got some things you can do with money there. You know what I mean? So there's nothing on their roster that's killing the bank. So I think they got some moves that's still yet to do.
Does Atlanta hold on to Trey now, or is he still on the trade block?
Atlanta may be looking to restart, try to get all that they can. I think people have seen the model now. I think people have seen what Utah has done, has seen definitely what OKC has done. They're never going to get to the level of that, but I think they're understanding that if it's not working, don't waste it, or don't try to beat a round circle into a square peg. Just you got to take your lumps, your Willie lumps and your losses, and then go on and see if we can rebuild this thing, because they just don't have the means right now in order to do it any other way. They tried, they gave it a shot. That conference championship run kind of made people a little bit interested. There's just nothing on their team that's sexy. So you might as well try to
not even the number 1 pick.
Yeah. Yeah. And hope that in the next couple of years, you've got some better options. That I still think somebody like Filipowski could have helped them. I would have probably taken a chance. I mean, I understand he's got some there's a lot of stuff that's going on. That's your boy.
That is my boy, officially my boy.
But I think the Jazz won in that one, to be honest.
The Pelicans.
No, for Filipowski.
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. LeBron James, talked about him a lot. He's got a decision to make. He opted out. He was rumored to have 3 names that the Lakers could sign that he would take less money to get. Are those options still out there? Who were those guys that LeBron wanted the Lakers to go get? And is there a deadline approaching, with Team USA reporting to Olympic training camp here at the end of the week? We'll get to the LeBron James timeline and money situation for the Lakers next.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney, or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful, with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The Electrical Workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
The weather is hot, the kids are out of school, and you're on your way to the lake and summer road trips. Are you getting to your vacation spot comfortably, or is your car letting you down? Mullen Motors Lot is full of great vehicles to take home, so you don't have to worry about your current car barely surviving another road trip. Come check out their lot just north of 48th and Layton and find your next ride for summer road trips and beyond. Mullen Motors.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. They are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Lots going on in NBA free agency. We are your destination to learn about it all. I'm Austin Norman, relying on the brain power of 9-year NBA vet Eric Strickland for this. Oh, I know about all this. It's just the truth, Stricky. But your Mavs in the process of making a splash, rumored to have landed Klay Thompson in a 3-team sign and trade with the Golden State Warriors and the Charlotte Hornets. 3 years, $50 million for Klay in Dallas. What do you make of that for him and for the Mavs?
Oh, okay. So you and I have talked about this before. See, that's why I wish you guys were listeners for like the long haul. And I know some of you are, and I'm appreciative of that because Stricky says things that if you're a listener on the block and you're subscribed and you've hit that subscribe button and you get the notifications, all that good stuff, X, Twitter, X, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch, do that now if you haven't done so. But anyway, I talked about this. I said places that would be a good fit for Klay Thompson, and I still think Klay has value. Klay is a knockdown shooter. I don't care what anybody says. The reason Klay struggled in Golden State is not because Klay is washed up and done. It's because of the style that they play. They are free flow, run, continuous, always moving, coming off screens, backdooring, and defending because they don't have an inside presence or somebody to funnel to and just allow. They don't. Luka's. I think I sent you a clip on him. It's terrible. Some of the things. I mean, one couple games from 2 minutes or 2 seconds into the game. Anyway, the fact that he can stand, wait on pick and rolls and rotation and drives, and be able to knock stuff. Leave Klay Thompson like you used to leave Green and PJ and see how that's going to work out for you. And I'm talking about just normal gameplay. They don't run as much as Golden State, and I mentioned that, so I can understand. I mean, I'm good friends with Nico Harris, and just understanding his psyche and how he thinks, I can understand why he went with what he went with. There were some deficiencies there. I think they would have used Klay Thompson in a very similar way that they had Hardaway. Just Hardaway's not as a consistent knockdown guy, but I think I'm seeing the correlation in why they moved on from him to make way for someone like Klay Thompson.
That's the offensive side, which makes perfect sense, right? Stand in a corner, wait for Luke or Kyrie to dish you the ball, call it good. Defensively, I think it's a better fit as well, because I think Golden State was still relying on Klay to be a kind of a stopper, a lockdown guy on the wing. Well, guess what? He's not that. Doesn't have the same explosiveness. He can't guard twos like he used to, and even a lot of threes are giving him troubles. And
Wiggins don't want to no more. That's the crazy part. So he's
probably got to be gone too.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a lot of reasons Golden State's falling apart, but in Dallas now, Klay will not be tasked with guarding, the other team's best option. And hey, if the guy gets by him, Dallas has legit rim protection in Gafford, in Lively, unlike in Golden State where there was nothing. Right? So Klay Thompson hasn't looked as good, but it's not exactly all his fault either.
No doubt. I mean, we're saying the same thing. And that's what I put out there. Teams like that, teams like Philly, a team like Denver. I was saying, like, if Dallas didn't land him, I think the money he's asking for is not out of range. They couldn't give KCP that because KCP, a little bit younger, probably still has lockdown abilities to guard some of the best guys on the other teams.
Yeah.
So you can understand his numbers a little bit higher, but Klay at 50, Denver can do that. And then that would have been something that would have been interesting. Teams like that would have been interesting to me, even if they needed to throw Klay into that PG role. But I understand why they didn't, because they don't just need a knockdown shooter. They need kind of a halfway guy that can go get a bucket when one of those two guys are on the bench or injuries kind of take in, because it left Maxey butt naked. They were at the top of the East, and then Embiid gets injured. There's not a second guy there. Harris is a no-show. Oubre and those guys tried, but just not enough.
Buddy wasn't enough.
Yeah, it just left them. So that's what they're trying to make sure it doesn't happen. There's a big fall off if any of those guys get injured.
If these numbers are correct, they're being reported that he's signing for $3 and $50 with Dallas And rumor has it Golden State offered him 2 years and $48 million. So higher annual value for Clay, but an extra year of security, way fewer taxes in Dallas compared to San Francisco.
Yeah, because 48 in there is
you're not seeing that.
That's real shaky.
shaky
in Cali. But in Dallas, yeah, that goes, yeah. And he can build him a little something if he want to, a little retirement spot. Yeah.
Makes sense to me for Clay.
Dallas, I might get on the plane this weekend.
Stricky coming.
I don't know. No, man, I don't know. It's kind of shaky. But it's looking good, though. Opportunity.
Here's another Klay Thompson tie-in. LeBron James and his decision with the Los Angeles Lakers. Rumor has it LeBron and his people, Rich Paul, gave the Lakers 3 options of veteran role players that LeBron would be willing to take a pay cut for.
Of course.
Okay. One of them, Jonas Valanciunas, was with New Orleans. He's now with Washington. The second one, James Harden, who ends up re-upping with the Clippers. The third option was Klay Thompson, who just signed with Dallas. Evan Sidery, who writes about the NBA for Forbes, says LeBron James is now expected to sign a max contract after the Lakers missed out on Klay Thompson. I guess he's quoting Adrian Wojnarowski on this. LeBron was rumored to be ready to take a $20 million pay cut for Klay Thompson from 61 million. I mean, 40 to 41 million, still a lot, but it's absolutely not a max. LeBron now taking a max. Is that the right move for him? Get your money, or is it selfish? Why aren't you still taking the pay cut to try to improve the team?
Do I need to dump this right now? You know he's not. Look, you can just track his whole career. There's only really one time that he decided to make the team better, and it worked out for him with a championship. I don't believe he believes it can happen, so I believe he's going to be greedy and go for the money. I'm not mad at him, but we know his track record is, I'm going for me. I'm doing this for me. Get Russell Westbrook for me. Oh, did I say brick?
Hey, Russ wants to go to Denver
Westbrook,
now.
Get him for me. You know what I'm saying? Everything has been for me. Me, even me leaving is for me. You know what I mean? When I'm ready to go and bolt, it's for me. It ain't got nothing to do with you. We know his track. So, of course, he's not going to do anything to help the team. Not at this point.
But
and
why
he's
would
gonna
you?
have to? He's gonna have to low key pay his son. No, I'm just playing. That might have been part of the deal. You know, if you take this max, you got to do the Joe Smith under the table, $2 million to Brownie. No, I'm just playing. I don't know. That's a legend. I'm just throwing that out there, talking smack. But I'm just saying that could be some stuff they might be trying to pull.
Okay,
you draft my son. I'll give you ticket sales. I'll give you merchandise. I'll take my cut off from that, and I'll dip a little bit of this max over here. No, I'm just talking.
Touch that paper.
Yeah, there's a lot of paper to touch.
Okay, speaking of Russ, Denver's had it rough these last couple off seasons. They lose Bruce Brown, who's a key piece in their championship run, and then they lose Kentavious Caldwell-Pope this offseason. So 2 of those versatile, multi-positional guys Denver's lost. Here's this from Harrison Wind, who's with DNVR Sports. Nikola Jokic has pushed behind the scenes for the Nuggets to get Russell Westbrook. This isn't the first time he's wanted to play with him in Denver either. Westbrook would give Michael Malone a trusted veteran ball handler, which is something the Nuggets need right now. Nikola Jokic pushing for Russell Westbrook, a 1-year, $4 million deal he signed with the Clippers. They're looking to trade him. Ooh, I don't know, Stricky. I don't know.
It strikes the floor. I mean, I think when your push guy is Nikola Jokic, I think Nikola is basically saying, I don't want to be a push guy. Get it to somebody, because Jamal's not a push guy.
No.
He's not a speed changer, half-court guy. Maybe they're looking for a guy that really can get those extra buckets and put pressure on the defense that they already put on them with Jokic and pushing and Aaron Gordon, those guys running out, and Porter Jr. But they might be just looking at a different way to go about it at this point, and looking for somebody that gives them that dynamic element in the open court.
Is Russ better than Reggie Jackson?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's an improvement. Let's see. Is he better than Ish Smith?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's keep
I
going.
just think
back
he shrinks
to
the court, but he's also going to get paint touches.
Facundo Campazzo.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
everybody you name.
Monty Morris.
Yeah, everybody you name. It's going to be better.
Ooh, see, I might take Monty over Russ.
I still think you're getting it only for a year. So this isn't a long-term option.
No.
I'm just saying for a year, it's not going to be a heavy risk. I think you're looking at it as a potential return in an area of your game that can change the dynamic of you just being a half court and then opportunistic running team. Just think of the flowbacks that Jokic will be able to get now.
As the trailer?
Yeah, because you've got to get, when Russ is pushing, I don't care his age, he still's, pretty electric and push. When he's pushing and putting pressure, you got a young runner in Porter Jr. getting to a corner for a drop off or a dime to the corner for the three.
Mm-hmm.
You got Aaron Gordon, Lob City running paint touches for, any pressure there. I think that could be good. I think it could be good, but it's not a risk that's high, and you still can develop that young talent. Let him come in, but you just have to have Russ have a good understanding about what his role is. Not trying to come in here. If he just takes a Chris Paul type of situation and go in there and be a good leader, I think it can work.
Do you think he got better at that with the Clippers? Russ taking the back seat?
Yeah, I think it was a good lesson for him. Yeah, I think it was a lesson that Carmelo, I bet if he would go back, he would have liked to learn that. Even Allen Iverson to an extent. Yeah.
Was Allen, I know he handled the ball, but he's listed as a shooting guard. Did AI ever run point?
I mean, sometimes, or it's more early on. Eric Snow mostly after that.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it was mostly Eric Snow, but Eric would guard the bigger guys. He was, kind of like me in that aspect. Like if Steve Nash and I played together, I would always guard the bigger guy or the 2 or 3, depending on what the matchup was. It didn't matter, but sometimes if they wanted to give Michael Finley a break, they would just move me over and do it like that. So yeah, it just depends.
Craig says LaBaby is a selfish child. Dang. Top rope, Craig.
It's hard.
Spit them fire, spit that fire, spit them facts. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes, we'll see.
hey, I mean, the word is out. It ain't me saying it. It ain't just him. There's a lot of people saying that. The bum, the cry, the baby, the baby. That's funny.
The baby.
Yeah, man. He. Who's worse, him or Luka?
Different ways. I think different ways, right? LeBron has legitimately shaped the NBA and how it goes about its business, right? With the decision, TV special going from Cleveland to Miami. LeBron has exerted more control over player destinations than Luka ever has and probably ever will, but they're comparable on the court, right?
Yeah.
I think they're comparable on the court. And to be fair, I think LeBron's earned it. I think Luka's still got a little bit more to prove before he starts whining the way he does.
Okay.
Which one's more malleable, LeBron or Luka? Who can change?
I think Luka has more.
Homer.
I think he has more ability to change. Yeah.
Well, we have been bashing on LeBron, so what we should probably do, in all fairness, is bring in our premier foremost LeBron James defender, Jay Foreman. Let's get him on here for the crossover. Let him defend his boy, LeBron James, to wrap up on the block. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and healthy 4th of July weekend. They are thankful for this great nation and celebrate our independence, which should never be taken for granted. This important message comes to you from Bart and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Time for a new AC? Call Bryant. Get rebates now and lower operating costs every day. For comfort and efficiency, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln. For over 15 years, Integrated Life Choices has empowered individuals with disabilities in Lincoln and throughout Nebraska. They provide comprehensive services from group homes and independent living services to job training, ensuring fulfilling lives for those that they serve. Now, they're inviting you to join their mission. If you're passionate about making a difference in the lives of people with developmental disabilities, explore rewarding career opportunities with them. Learn more about their services and apply today at www.ilc.net. Be a part of Integrated Life Choices, where your work truly changes lives.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL Weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers and storms throughout the day. It'll be breezy too, with the high around 82. Tonight, showers and thunderstorms are likely, with the low around 72. And tomorrow, the chance of showers and storms, some could be severe in the afternoon. We'll see a high around 87. And meteorologist Kyle Clicker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from a program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. Husker fans, the 2024 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and they need your support in Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $170. This plan includes tickets to the UTEP or Northern Iowa, plus Illinois or Rutgers, and either UCLA or Wisconsin games. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with only 4 Lincoln locations, now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street. Don't wait for Lincoln's fireworks stands to open up. Get the good stuff at Roca Crazy Cracker in downtown Roca. Stop in from June 26th through July 4th for the hot spot for rockets and more this Independence Day. Open 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day. Roca Crazy Cracker Fireworks in downtown Roca.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
I noticed in the article it's spelled D-A-W-G.
Yeah, that's
Now hold on.
That's standard.
Again,
Jake,
journalism.
a dog is a D-A-W-G in terms of an athlete.
Yeah.
Or some things are badass,
Yeah.
Dog,
There's no way
D-A-W-G.
in 1985 that was the case. Now, this is a recent phenomenon, right?
That's not that new. This is
that's not
This
new.
is not. This is since 2000 probably.
D-A-W-G?
Yeah. Where have you been?
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's been a good show. It has been a fast show here on the block. Talk some Husker football with Mitch Sherman in hour one. Check out the podcast if you missed that conversation. A lot of NBA headlines here in hour number 2. We welcome in Jay Foreman. What's up, Jay?
Yo, what's up, man?
You have anything to say to defend LeBron?
We hear you,
we
my
got
boy.
you. We got you.
Oh, this thing ain't even
Ain't even
plugged
plugged. Dang,
Hey,
son.
that
You
explains
unplugged, bro.
We'll give Jay a second
You
here.
postal.
in. That's terrible.
He's unplugged.
Whoever did that is horrible.
That's unbelievable how they
We
treat
good?
you back
Yeah,
there.
we
over
good.
there.
All right.
Okay.
LeBron willing to take a pay cut, but the 3 guys he wanted, Valanciunas, Harden, and Thompson, all gone. LeBron now signing the max. Right decision, wrong decision.
Hey, that's right. Gave you a little hometown discount. See what you're gonna do with it. Dookie down your leg. Nah, I gotta get that.
No,
It happens all the
I
time.
think it's more to it, Jay. Real talk. Like not even the LeBron situation. I'm not disagreeing with you because I think I do agree with that point. I think they're starting to look like clowns in LA.
Oh, they've been clowns.
And like for real,
They've been clowns.
like straight
This is
movie, like It. Like they like the movie It in the gutter, and they out there snatching people. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
it's
Jay, I
wild.
mean,
People don't want to go there like they
but
used
Rob
to.
Pelinka is just first of all, it's a systematic problem. It's a byproduct of, I'll say, it started at the end of Jordan's career because remember he signed that 1 year, $36 million with Chicago or something, $30 million. Kind of like, all right, we're going to give you payback for what we grossly underpaid you. And then you saw, towards Jordan's end of Jordan's career, guys didn't want to go there either. But guys started to, average guys or guys that were paid like superstars started to think that they were superstars. Now, and here's the psychology around it. They'd rather get grossly overpaid or get compensated.
OJ Mayo.
Or all of them, right? I mean, and rather not to go play
Chandler Parsons
and instead of go play with LeBron, a Jordan, in some cases a Kyrie when he was. I mean, this year he's been great, but let's see if it's after this year, right? Because of the pressure, and you can really with no pressure and sit back and get handsomely paid. Now I think with Clay,
Paul George,
yeah, it is. It's a pressure. You're from LA. You were Kawhi in Paul George's case. Kawhi chose not to go to essentially across the street and be the king of LA still because he thought he was. He's not. Nobody. I mean, you see him in Costa Rica. Kawhi, you could have. It would actually worked out better for Kawhi
if he would have went to the Lake Show.
The pressure would be off. The pressure would be way off of him.
Yeah.
Now he wants the pressure. I want him. Ballmer, get rid of everybody. Paul George is like, you know what? I don't really like this. I'm out. Because it's easier. Now you're off the beaten path in Philly. Now you're probably the third guy.
Yeah.
Right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You know basketball better than me. Guy, I think
to me, as long as his mind says and comes to the realization.
It isn't, but he is. But here's the problem, Strick, and you're right about this. He's paid a max. And you see this a lot in golf. And this is totally different with Tiger Woods. And I remember before Tiger won his last Masters, you saw guys like Jordan Spieth. Oh, I'd love to play with Tiger. One dude said, listen, no, the hell you don't. Well, you got a taste of it. You got a broke down, half leg, fused up every body part Tiger, and he ended up winning. And they asked him after, it's like, yeah, I see what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Something that comes with that.
Something comes with it. Because
yeah.
It's not just the media attention and say the good things that come with it. Guess what else they have to do? They got to work. They got to dedicate. They're going to be held to a higher standard. You might have to be second fiddle. But the problem is guys don't like being second fiddle when you're getting paid first fiddle. So, but then you turn it to the other side. Management. It's no different than the Cowboys, what used to be called the Redskins, now the Commanders, now they got new leadership. These are staple like football franchises and NBA franchises. They have no leadership. Rob Pelinka can't put together a puzzle right now. He can't. Now you can say LeBron controls it, Jordan controls it, everybody controls it a little bit. But you're trying to tell me what you've done? You mean you got rid of Caldwell Pope? He just got paid in Orlando. You could have been paying this dude less than that, stayed there because he wanted to stay. You let old boy Zubac go right across the street, and he's been kicking your butt since you've been, pulling up the same parking spot. This is all the stuff you're doing. And then you look at it. Okay, you're the Lakers. You hire Darvin Ham. If you're going to fire him in a year, it's kind of like when Houston hired what's his name, Dave, the guy from Baltimore that was there a year. And everybody knew as soon as he signed it, he was like,
well, his dad was a coach, right?
Yeah.
But he'd been at Baltimore forever, assistant head coach, and they're like, oh, he's only going to last a year till they can hire somebody else. Why even hire him now? How can you fire a coach, Darvin Ham, in a year? And then before that, and then
Frank Vogel took you to the championship, and you got rid of him
after 1 year, right? Because guess what happened after that? Expectations, need more defense. Anthony Davis tells you he hasn't picked up a basketball, come out of shape. You can't do if you want to be a superstar, a legend. They all say I'm a dog, I'm a legend. Jerry West said the same thing. He's like, man, I'm a wolf. I eat you for lunch. And then you bring out Hurley and don't even to get him to leave Connecticut, essentially fly the farthest place east to the farthest place west or Southern California. You're almost in Mexico. And you're not even paying them top 6.
Just to lowball him.
Just to lowball him.
Because all that's going right off top.
Right.
Dang near in Cali with the state tax.
Well, just in general, if you're a 2-time.
It ain't Dallas. I mean, it ain't Florida. It ain't. Yeah.
Right. If you're a 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time NBA champion, if you want me to leave, in your case, Dallas or, say Buffalo or Houston, you're going to have to pay me maximum price. You paid him less than the going rate.
Dang near less than what it would have been,
right? When you start adding up the finances, right? Yeah. And then here goes Monty Williams, right? The
greatest retirement plan on earth right now.
His agent, they get the agent of the year. If we have the agent of the year, he's one of them. And Bobby Bonilla is always the best. I love
Bobby Bonilla making more this year than Brock Purdy.
Let me tell you,
Tony's up there now too.
Yes,
top 5.
Yeah, but his buddy. His
gambling
agent,
buddy, good. His translator,
they're all together.
They all in it. Cool.
But then it's like you don't even throw a flyer on Monty Williams. And there's nothing wrong with JJ Redick. He might work out. He eventually, I think he's smart enough to be a good enough coach. But you're the Lakers, man.
Right.
This isn't the Timberwolves. This isn't the Grizzlies. These isn't the old Grizzlies up in Canada or the Supersonics when everybody knew they were leaving. This is what the NBA is built on. So there's a different standard. And if you're doing clown stuff at the top level, it doesn't bypass on your case in the court or in the field. Name this is what I want for the text line. Name one organization that has really bad leadership that is a consistent winner. I mean, can we?
I don't even know if you can name one.
Now you might get lucky.
No, you're saying a consistent winner.
Okay,
you're not just talking about.
Okay, I could.
Someone,
okay, just in 5 years.
Yeah.
Okay, you might win one.
Yeah.
But then you go down the tank because you can't consistently do it because you're going to make bad decisions.
I gotta say the Cowboys might be shaky. They might be.
Right. Well, hold on, but what has the Cowboys done?
What have they done? You're saying consistent winner. That's what I'm saying.
Regular season. Okay,
regular
that's fine.
Season.
That's
not what they built.
That's like the Lakers getting into play.
That's not what they built on.
Right. So technically, yes. Reality, no. Are the Cowboys even close to a standard? No. Anybody? I mean, when you start to think about it, when you really sit back and think about it, and what people don't understand, what you see on the field.
Would you say the Bills fit in that back in the day?
When they won, when they went to when they went to 4 Super Bowls, they were Trump tight.
Okay, so
after the Music City Miracle, if you start to look at up top and all that stuff, spinning the wheel. Here's where it started. I always tell this story. Ralph Wilson walked down in the middle of 9-on-7 and blitz drill, walked through blitz drill to 9-on-7, and stood there. Obviously, practice stops. Says, "I just want to let you know before you." You got 5 minutes left to practice before you walk in there. And I go back up or go home probably. I fired the GM, John Butler, who was a part of Bill Polian and built Buffalo up.
Yeah.
Even though we got Music City Miracle, consistent playoff, developing players, signing players, having guys come back on, let's say, like New England, cap friendly, because you could win. You knew that, if you signed a 5-year deal, you're going to play 3 or 4 years because it's cap friendly. and they know that they developed you. He gone. He went to San Diego and drafted Sean Merriman, Drew Brees, and LaDainian Tomlinson with all those picks. Then Wade goes. Then it's just if you just look at
He got Greg though.
Yeah, we got Greg.
So
We got rookie. We got first year coach Greg. I think the other one would have been. But then you start to look at the turnover. Then guess what? It went from that to quarterback play, and you're just done.
So is New York fitting that?
Which
Giants?
team? I think right now they're spinning their wheels.
And not a consistent winner, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, not a consistent.
So,
It started when they.
What about Philly?
I think Philly's going to be good.
Roseman's good.
They're always trying to win. Every move they're trying to. Here's an example.
Lurie's fine.
Right. Here's an example.
I gotta say the Knicks in basketball, maybe.
They're a clown show up until now.
Up until now, I think
they're a clown show.
Now, yeah.
I mean, even when you bring, you fire Isaiah Thomas, bring in Phil. Phil Jackson don't like Carmelo. D'Antoni. That's a clown. That's right in your wheelhouse. But I'm back to Philly though. This is how you know that Jeff Lurie is playing to kill you. If you listen to the Commanders when they did a deal, the Commanders were offering the pick like 151. He's like, "Oh, I need 129. Call me back." I said it's 151. He said, "I thought you said 121." Hang up. It got down to the last minute. All right, I'll take 151. It lets me know he's gonna keep pushing the envelope. When they had troubles at the defensive or the safety position last year, they traded for Bird from Tennessee Titans. Got an All-Pro. He's not going out there bargain shopping when you're trying to win championships.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
He's addressing.
Right. When they were struggling against the run, what did he do? He picked up Linval Joseph and Dominican Sue, House of Spears. We just stopping it up the middle. We're not gonna dance around the issues. All right, we're getting 2 dudes in. You got a week of practice. Go ahead, put in work. Play 12 plays, got to the Super Bowl. Obviously didn't work out, but you got to the Super Bowl. They address needs. They don't play Halloween in professional sports. There's a lot of
Lakers.
They're playing Halloween.
The Lakers is playing Halloween, and doggone Michael Myers is upstairs waiting on.
Let me ask you this, Strick. Let me ask you this, Strick, before we go. If you're an NBA player, as much as I know, and I can ask you this because I know you worked hard and you put it all in on the line. And if you ever been in these places, and maybe you've seen some other players, right? That when it's a clown show up top, so whether it's the Grizzlies when you went there or somewhere else, or you just hold on, right? Mavs.
Early Mavs.
Okay. Management. And then how did that change the locker room?
It made it. It was the same.
It
was like bumper cars.
Right.
It was like boom, boom. You was getting the same flow.
Right.
But it wasn't until new ownership took over. Like I saw the change. It was clown show all through Carter, through Ross Perot Jr. And it was when Mark took over is when it seemed to make a shift to more stability, and accountability, and you know what I mean?
Relationships and stuff like I mean, that's all part of it, man. I mean, that's why leadership is so important. And this is nothing against Rob Pelinka. I'm sure he has, he's been in that position for quite some time. But how he got to that position is because he was Kobe's agent.
Right.
Now, when you talk about the Knicks, remember the last dude, was it Shaq West or whatever his name is? He's a big time. Remember his last name is West. He not with the Knicks anymore.
Worldwide West?
Yeah. Worldwide West. He's like a former agent. Right?
Yeah.
But
I remember West.
Right. They thought like, oh, he was going to be able to recruit players. No, you ain't, because you got James Dolan up there, acting the fool.
Really making.
You get what I'm saying?
But Leon Rose has done a really good job stabilizing it.
Is after, right? Mm-hmm. And so you got to really, it's a trickle down effect. So it's a hard thing to do, man.
But you got an old school.
Yeah, man.
A lot of NBA stuff. I got some NFL news. We're gonna talk a little. I guess what is it? The chicken and the egg. Will money buy you a roster, or will you have to make chicken salad out of chicken? And then have the money, and then now you'll get the roster that you really want. Because that's a huge thing, right? Because now you're starting to see. I know they had an NIL summit, and they got a lot of stuff going on. So a lot of that stuff, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. Then the UFC, it was a big fight.
Boy,
man, that kick looked like. Did you see how quick it was? He looked like Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
He just said, "Oh, bam,
yeah,
sleep."
Yeah. And he had to look at him before. Oh, you don't want to stop there?
I want to know the two. I want to know the two. I want to know the two guys that beat him. I didn't realize he's 6'4".
Yeah, he's talented.
There we go.
Baby. Let's go.
That'll be old school. Stricky, when will we see you?
Mañana.
There it is. Old school next.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from a program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
For only $2.99 a day, LES powers life's sweetest moments and keeps all your summer treats icy cold and ready. Learn more at les.com/value.